Hey, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to If You Don't Like That. Interesting show today at 2 o'clock. Jerry Reynolds, each and every Tuesday on with Ryan in Sacktown. I know you guys talked a lot of USA basketball. I always like to go and talk about something before it potentially happens. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. But today I want to start off by talking about something I did on my rant today, Ryno.
Sure.
Why is Kevin Durant on this team? Well, I mean, they sent Kawhi Leonard back. Durant hasn't played at all. He missed all 5 tune-up games. Like, is that the right move here?
You know, Grant, Jerry and I may have found the reason that they're keeping him on the roster. In the world basketball, you can play zone. You can guard areas of the court as opposed to players. And he's the perfect zone breaker. Even if he's not super mobile, you plant him right in the middle of it, and he can cause a lot of problems for the rest of the world.
There's nobody else in the NBA that could do what Kevin Durant can do at this age?
Well, debatable. Absolutely debatable. But, he's proven himself in the Olympics, and I'm with you. At the end of the day, how are you going to throw him in a mix where these guys are still gelling together? It's going to be really difficult, but I think that's why they got him there, Grant. I really do, and Jerry seemed to agree.
If you need Kevin Durant to win a gold medal, then USA basketball is not nearly as strong as I thought it was.
Well, we didn't say that they need him to win the gold medal, but that's the need for Durant on this team. He's a guy that can really break that zone down, probably more effectively than anybody else currently on the roster.
To me, because I still think the United States will win gold. If they don't win gold, this will be one of the biggest failures in the history of U.S. basketball. And I'm saying if they don't win a gold, to me, they need to set new criteria on what it would require to be a member of Team USA. And if I'm running Team USA, you must commit to a 4-year window of playing international basketball. All right? Commit to a 4-year window. Let me know who's interested. I picked my team based on that pool. All right? I make, obviously, criteria for what would happen if someone were to become injured. How would I replace that player? I would have what they call a reserve squad. So I would have my roster. I would then have my reserve squad that may consist of 5 players, whether somebody retires, whether somebody gets hurt, okay? You make a 4-year commitment. After those 4 years, I'm keeping 5 players for the next 4-year window. Because if I get a young phenom like an Anthony Edwards, I don't want to just say you can only play in 1 Olympic Games, all right? So I'm going to keep 5 additional players for the next 4-year window, because what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at the rest of the world, and the way they go about international basketball is a better formula for success in the United States.
Absolutely. Spot on. It's about long-term planning. They're looking at not just these Olympics, they're looking at the next Olympics. Quite frankly, it means more to them to be on the world or your country's team than it does for a lot of players here in America. Now, it matters, as you said, when the gold medal rolls around and it's the Olympics. But, Grant, I don't know if you're getting commitments like that from players. Can they make that?
College players. Then I'll take college players.
And debatably, you could still have a damn good shot at winning the Olympics with college players these days.
No question. I think I would win the gold with college players. I do. So I'm not worried about finding 12 or whatever the number is. I'm not worried about finding 12 very talented, dedicated, hardworking players in America to play on Team USA with a 4-year commitment. I'm not worried about that. I can get that in 5 minutes. Okay. And I will have to sift through all the players, do all my interviews, and I will come up with one damn good basketball team.
Yeah. And granted, it shouldn't wait until you get to the NBA. Like you said, if you integrate college players, if you can recruit players now out of junior high and high school, USA basketball should damn near be looking at guys that young too and starting them in some type of feeder program if guys are playing AAU, whatever it may be, because that's how the rest of the world does it. And not as talented, but they compete and they're more cohesive than what we roll out there most times every Olympic team. Yeah.
And again, I'm using this as an if. I'm talking worst case scenario. And to me, a silver medal would be a disaster. Okay, anything less than a gold is a complete 100% failure. And I don't want to hear anybody say that. No. If the United States does not bring home gold, it is a absolute failure of USA basketball. Complete failure.
Well, it's a complete failure in your eyes. It'll be that way in a lot of fans' eyes. It's a question of how does USA basketball look at it? Do they say, "Oh, well, we probably are a little too old on that roster. Maybe we just
No,
revamp it here and there." I think you got to rebuild, just like
it's a
you said.
failure.
And yeah, I'm with you, but I still think ultimately they come away with the gold. But it doesn't leave a good
Again,
feeling in your stomach, though. It doesn't about the program, in my opinion.
I still think they're going to win. They're the most talented team, but I'm a little concerned about their age, and it just. I mean, if you what would happen if you lose Steph Curry?
You would have an issue. You would have a significant issue scoring wise. This is a team that's only averaging 94, 95 points a game in the exhibition
Yeah, but they only
season.
play 40-minute games.
Well, still, Grant. I mean, when we see scores in the 130s, when you're playing against quote unquote lesser competition, you would expect them to fill it up. They've shown 32 points in a quarter, they showed in this exhibition series, whatever you want to call
But
it.
I think Germany scored 30 points in a quarter the other night. You can't allow a team in a 40-minute game to score 30 points in a quarter. I mean, it just can't do it, you
Yeah,
know?
but that's where the age comes into it, right? If you make USA work on defense, which the world likely will make them work, swinging the ball around, chasing through screens, etc., that can affect the other end of the court. We know that many, many times, especially if they get happy with the three ball.
Then play defense. I play
Play
zone. You don't have
defense.
to work as hard with the zone.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Progressive, I was going to bring this up to you. A Sacramento King will be competing for gold, Jimmer Fredette, in the 3-on-3 competition in the Olympics.
Why is 3-on-3 in the Olympics?
I
Why
have
is it an
no
Olympic
idea.
sport?
I have no
I have
idea.
it's a gimmick.
I pulled up a list of the Olympic sports for you, buddy. I wanted to see if maybe you heard of some of these. Some were new to me. How about the trampoline? Heard of the trampoline, Grant? The
No
tramp,
word.
the trampoline for you. A couple more that caught my eye. We've already talked about skateboarding. Don't have a big problem with that. Surfing, breaking. Breaking is actually break
Surfing?
dancing.
There's
Surfing.
surfing now in the Olympics?
You have surfing, you have sport climbing, those rock walls that you see in your gyms. That's
Where are
an
they doing
Olympic
surfing? Is
sport.
that a man-made surf pool?
That's a good question. It likely will be because it's in Paris, or they go to the closest coast. Let me check that out.
They go to the French
Interesting.
Riviera? I mean, I don't
It-
what are they going to do?
you're
Surfing off the coast of Monte Carlo or
mm,
Cannes or Nice or I mean, come on.
yeah, maybe can. It looks like go to the swimming schedule. I will look into that to see where they're doing it. Last time
It's
in
got to,
Japan.
in order to be a fair competition, if you're going to really do surfing and not being able to predict the weather and coastal tides, it's got to be a man-made surf
It's
pool.
got
It
to be
has to be.
controlled. Yes, exactly right. Everybody's got to get the same wave.
You know what? Maybe they're going to do it on one of those cruise ships that have those wave pools now.
Why not? Why not? You can also do the canoe slalom. You got the site. You have two different BMX sports. You got cycling, BMX freestyle, and then cycling, BMX
Yeah.
racing.
I think
So
instead of taking my boys to the Alabama game on Labor Day weekend, I'm going to say, guys, you know what? I think we're going to do something really fun. We're going to do something different. I'm going to take you to a trampoline contest.
what do you think? That'd be cool. We
Yeah,
all had trampolines.
I don't think that's going to go over very well.
I
But I know
would
one
doubt
thing
it.
would be very easy to get tickets.
Yeah, I was looking at tickets for some of these events still available, and you can get some
Yeah, you think?
luxury suites to go along with them. I mean, my goodness, some of the stuff in here, it's insane. And like we talked about the other night, cornhole probably going to be next.
And as far as Jimmer goes, good for him. I love
Yes.
Jimmer. I have a lot of respect for Jimmer. He's a very good person.
Yep, he is. He has actually been the face of 3-on-3 basketball worldwide as of late. It's actually caught on internationally. WNBA moving also. We're working in a 3-on-3 league or
Oh God.
separate league, yes, that will run outside of the WNBA year. And then, Grant, there's the big three where all the old, washed up NBA guys kind of go, still get some run. That's Ice Cube's league.
The Olympics is so diluted now. It's such a shame.
If you keep it to the classics, it's like the classic restaurant menu, right? You don't need a 7-page menu. Have a
Right.
1-page menu and do everything great.
Oh, well. Back to Team USA and the men's. It's going to be a complete failure for Grant Hill and USA basketball. I don't think it's going to come to that. I think they will win the gold. I do think they'll have some close games. I don't think they're going to just roll over everyone because there's some very good basketball teams around the world now.
Yep. And like you brought up with Steph Curry, it takes a sprained ankle. It takes one little tweak. Joel Embiid, Jerry mentioned earlier today, he doesn't feel like he's in the swing of things totally yet coming back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, watch out if they lose. Watch out.
All right. If you want to give us a call, the link is in the chat line. You got the QR code. We are happy that you are with us. You ever watch baseball?
I do from time to time. Not like you, though.
What do you mean not like me?
Well, I know you followed a little bit closer the Yankees. For one, you have your friend Brian Knight that's an umpire. You watch the games or at least follow the games he's doing.
You know that I have not watched one complete Yankee game this year. I have not watched even half of a game this year. I've watched a little bit of baseball for an inning here or an inning there. And I'm grateful when I see a runner get on base.
Yes.
I'm grateful when I see that a batter did not strike out. Have you looked at how many designated hitters across the American League are not even batting 200?
No, enlighten me.
The number is staggering. You have so many players now that are not even able to put the ball in play. Like, where did that ever go, Ryan? And the All-Star game, I talked about this.
Yeah.
Once we got to the fifth inning and the manager wanted to put in and get everyone time, and I understand that. You're on the All-Star team. You should play at least for a batter or whatever. You should be
Certainly
in the game, okay?
Certainly.
All it was about on both the American and National League squads, how fast can you throw? And the announcers during the game talked about it after every pitch. Oh, he got up to 99. Oh, he got up to 100. Oh, that's the fastest pitch in the All-Star game. Okay? Whatever happened to pitching instead of throwing? Now, there are some guys that do pitch, but now there are so many guys that come in, and that's why we have so many Tommy John surgeries.
I think that's part of it. Certainly. I think part of it also is the amount of pitches thrown before you get to the major leagues with players specializing in sports, specializing in positions.
I do not disagree with that. I think that's part of it as well. But I just, to me, they got a real problem. I know that the pitch clock, I think, has been I think it's been very good. I really think the pitch clock has helped out baseball. I'm a fan of that.
Yep, I'm a huge fan of the pitch clock. It sped things up. Do you think that has an effect on the pitching? I would think the pitchers have gotten acquainted to that by now, a full season of it.
I think it did have an effect on pitching, and I think now, obviously, everyone is used to it, and I think the batters have become used to it, not stepping out of the box, blah, 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 and et cetera. But yes, I do. I think that's a very good question. So I think, listen, all sports evolve and they change. The NFL has changed. Look at the NBA has changed. They've changed the way they play the game, right? I mean, it's just part of the deal. But there's too many strikeouts in baseball for me. There just are too many strikeouts.
Well, it's that A word that you don't like, analytics. You got to figure it plays into that formula of why baseball is being played a different way. And then to your point about the pitch speed, that's nothing new. But now all we hear on top of that when a guy is hitting is exit velocity, exit angle, talking about things, whether it's trying to, dress baseball up, make it a little bit more sexy. I agree. I miss the old days where there's some strategy to it. Get on base, steal a base.
So I'm not watching nearly as much baseball as you think I am.
Interesting. Well, will it pull you back in though once the postseason rolls around? Because I know for me, it pulls me in. You hang on every pitch once you get to the NLCS, the World Series, etc.
Yeah, but that's also now right in the middle of football season. So, I mean, if it comes down to watching a big-time college football game on a Saturday night or whenever the World Series is, or a World Series game on Sunday night opposed to Sunday Night Football, well, I know what I'm watching.
Yeah, no, once we get to football season and you get to the middle of it, I feel like it's a little bit of a refreshing break when you get to that level of baseball,
Yeah.
because usually football defers to a degree to the World Series when you get to that.
All right, you ready for this? So
Ready.
here's one thing, all right? Here's Phil Mushnick in last week's New York Post story, all right? How's your exit velo this fine day? How about your WAR, OBS, or is it OPS? BS totals? Me, I'm stuck in the past. I'm so backward, I still regard batting averages as telltale, even valued like library cards. This past Sunday, for example, more than 40 MLB players were in the lineup despite batting below 200. More than 40. Cubs outfielder Pete Crow Armstrong just missed a cut as he was batting 200. Tigers Reds totaled 7. There were 6 in the Angels Cubs, 5s in the Royals Rockies, and another 5 in the Brewers Dodgers, a game between first place teams. Not too long ago, those who hit under 200 were gone or retired by early May at the latest. Now, well, we must consider their home runs to strikeout ratios. Joey Gallo is still striking out 50% of his bats, and he's batting 164.
Wow.
But he does have 7 home runs as a Nationals spare part, his 6th club in the past 5 years. This season, he had to accept a pay cut to $5 million. Yet consider the advantages that current MLB batters had over the predecessors. The DH in both leagues, parentheses, not that there's anything left to distinguish as evidenced by the self-inflicted decay of the All-Star game from must-see TV to who cares TV. Then there's the disappearance by design of effective starters after 5 innings for reasons. A dozen years later, they are still hazy and seem to begin with demand to throw as hard as you can, as often as you can. Then there's the steady and significant total of pitchers disabled to arm ailments, a modern epidemic that seems to have coincided with the rise of players as robots analytics. Out for the rest of the season with Tommy John surgery, has become the preamble to pitchers' constitutions as per the demand dictated by MPH meters. And batters no longer need to worry much about unexpected lights-out relievers. They're analytics bound to pitch to the fewest numbers of batters possible. Even if they were drafted as starters, something we never hear on MLB telecast, as if it's irrelevant, which is how it has become. I know, get off my lawn, old man yells at cloud. I should get with the plan or get out. I'm just an old fool who thinks it would be a good idea to run the first base, given that it's the fastest way to get there, not to mention second, third, and home. So if I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture. And I don't agree with everything that Phil writes, but Phil is spot on there. The game of baseball, as you just pointed out before I read the story, has completely been, for lack of a better term, ruined, although I don't think that's the proper adjective.
Yeah.
Tarnished to a degree where I don't enjoy watching it anymore. I used to love baseball. I used to watch many games. I used to follow it. I used to be up and could name you rosters on teams.
Sure.
The way the game is played now is not appealing to me, and so I don't watch it as much.
Sure. It's a valid point. The little things, the pitching to me, the wonder of could a guy throw a no-hitter tonight, have a perfect game. It's not even in play most games because of what Phil said, and we've mentioned it on this show.
And he didn't even mention the extra innings like Patrick just did, the ghost runner on second to start the extra innings, right?
There you go. And so it takes away some of that luster, that skill of baseball. I totally get it. And Phil does a great job with words. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
So let's bring in our man, Gammon. Welcome in tonight.
Yes, gentlemen. Absolutely. Ryan, I asked you, how old you were earlier, and you did not look, you do not look 40, my friend. So whatever stress Grant is giving you, it's good stress right there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I must say,
Whoa. You think he looks 50?
Well played.
Looks good. So it's Tuesday. We're in the slow part of the off season, right? So I thought I would give a chance to give you guys some questions that allow chat to turn on you guys, because sometimes it seems too communal, here and everyone's just too lovey-dovey. But I want to give chat a chance to figure out who you guys really are at this point in stage. So 3 questions. So I'm gonna call it 3 Question Tuesday. That's gonna be my new thing. I'm just coming on Tuesdays.
All right.
I love it.
And then we're gonna do this. So we're gonna start off slow, and then we'll kind of pick it up and we'll see if this works. We're gonna start with you, Ryan, and then we'll work over to Grant. But Ryan, celebrity high school crush. So you can't say whoever you're with right now, right? But it's gotta be a celebrity high school crush, somebody that you remember when you were in high school. Not right now, not 10 years from now, but we're talking about a young 16, 18, viral young Ryan.
Gammon, hit me, baby, one more time. Britney Spears all day.
That is. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know who I was expecting, but I was not expecting Britney Spears. That makes sense. What grade were you in when that happened? When you got hit by the Britney Spears bug?
I think it was 9th grade, Gammon, and by 11th grade, we were wearing paper bags when she came to Arco Arena, so nobody saw me and my buddies going to the concert. It was Britney Spears, my man.
How about that?
That is amazing. Grant, what do you have? What do you have for us?
Bo Derek.
Bo Derek.
Go look up Bo Derek's swimsuit issue back. Well, she's 2 years older than me. So just Google Bo Derek in her prime and look at their picture of her braided hair in that bikini on the beach.
I've got
my
pencil.
Bo Derek starred in the movie, I think, 10.
I've got my mechanical pencil out. And I am
hold on.
I'm writing this down. But
Bo Derek. Go Google Bo Derek for Patrick. Patrick can probably
Dates, I got you. There you go.
All right.
There's Miss Derek for you. Is that the picture
she
you're
even
talking
looked better
about?
in the picture. She even looked better than that that I remember.
All right.
Yeah. I'm impressed at how fast you are with that, my friend.
Got you, my man.
All right. Here we go. Second question, Ryan. Coming right back at you, but here we go. I know it's Tuesday, but let's pretend it's Friday. Freaky Friday. Who do you switch bodies with and why? So any celebrity out there right now or basketball player or anybody, but if you could switch bodies with anybody, who would it be? This is a tough one. It's not easy because I know it's amazing being you. I see that signed basketball that you got in the background.
Yeah.
Lovely plant. Looks like it's been watered. You got a piano. I don't have a piano. But if you could swap bodies with anybody, Freaky Friday, who would it be and why?
Freaky Friday. If I'm switching bodies, I'm switching bodies with Gordon Ramsay. I've got to get a taste of that British flavor. I love some of the stuff he does outside of the kitchen, the sports that he does, the marathons, and I got a lot of respect for the businessman he is. So Gordon Ramsay.
You don't really seem like you'd yell at somebody the same way that Gordon Ramsay would be. I think people will walk in there and be like, he's kind of okay with.
Oh, I got a couple of donkey blasts in me. Donkey.
You do? You got a couple dingers in there.
I've got a couple. I'm a clone under this shield here, so
I haven't seen your toxic side, so I'm waiting to see your inner Ramsey kind of come out. Grant, what say you?
I'm glad that you keep on going to me second because it gives me extra time to think, and I need the extra time to think because I'm old and I can't really come up with something. So I'm just going to use Christian McCaffrey because you know what? He's like a freaking rock.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, what is it that appeals to you? Is it that you'd like to have those
I'd like to have 7% or less body fat. That's what I'd like to have.
I was thinking Ryan might have went with that one because I know Ryan was talking about he's had a couple replacement surgeries here and there. I mean, I would love to feel as good as Christian McCaffrey feels right about now. You know, you see him going through those warm-up drills and everything else, but Gordon Ramsay, I was a little bit surprised with that one. All right, last question, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and clip that leave button on here.
All
but
right.
this is the one that's going to expose you guys. Okay, this is gonna your inner truth. You're gonna have to let down the shell, and you guys are gonna have to be honest with your fan base, everybody else who's on here. All right. On your phone, I'm sure that you guys listen to music on an app. Can you guys show or say the last song that you guys listened to on your phones?
The last
I'll look right now.
song. Yeah, let me look. Oh, we lost Gammon.
He'll come back. He'll come back.
All right. Here we go. I got to go to Amazon for this. Amazon Music.
These some
right.
very good questions.
Those were really original. Okay, while you look, I'll give everybody mine. Aerosmith, Crazy. Or no, Crying. Excuse me. Crying by Aerosmith.
Well, mine's not loading right now, but I'll come up with it in a second. It's here. You see, we should be able to remember that. So we lost Gammon, man.
We lost. He just dropped off. I think it was by design. He said, I'm going to hit the leave as soon as I ask the question.
I like his Tuesday themes. I like
that too. Love that kind of stuff. That's what these open forums are for. I love it. Bo Derek.
Well, go look at Bo Derek, the movie 10.
Okay. I will look.
You don't have to watch You don't have to watch the movie. Just like Google Bo Derek 10.
Got it. I'm gonna guess you're probably got some jazz going.
I do.
For your last song.
It was Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice. Very nice.
And the song before that was Wayman Tisdale, Can't Hide Love.
I figured Tizzy wouldn't be too far down that list.
Yeah. Good stuff by Gammon, huh?
Well done, Gammon.
You know what? I might have to, when I get into town, we might have to take Gammon to Bennett's, right?
Yes.
To thank him for his many years of service, still current in the Army. We can take him to the West Side Grill in Rockland, or we can go to the location in Roseville, Ryno, or Sacramento. But either way, he will have a great selection of prime seafood and steaks. Don't forget about their happy hour, Sips and Taste, every day from 2 to 6. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, make a reservation and more. And Ryno, I know you love the weekend brunch.
You know it. Get 2 entrees and a bottle of champagne for the other half. $49. Can't beat it with the patios out there, Grant. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. That's great. So just go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. And for all of your plumbing needs and repairs, don't forget about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available around the clock 24/7. For all of your plumbing needs and repairs. Just go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Really appreciate all of the feedback from those that have used New Works and have complimented their fine work. We appreciate that, and as does New Works. Again, sackserviceplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you.
Yes, indeed. Happy to have you here on an Open Forum Tuesday. Make sure you give us a thumbs up or a like if you are watching on X. 155 of you right now. We thank you very much. Okay, Grant, I think I found Miss Bo Derek in the movie 10. You got to know the image you're thinking of. Here she comes right now.
Yeah, the movie 10 was pretty good. Yeah. Yep.
There you go. All right.
And the other one was Carol Alt. Carol Alt is my age, and Carol Alt was a supermodel for CoverGirl. Was also on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue one year. Carol Alt, and then ended up marrying New York Rangers defenseman number 4 Ron Greshner.
Oh, very nice. I almost had to go with Tara Reid because when I was at that time, it was when all the American Pie movies were coming out. Did you ever see those?
What was the movie?
American Pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stifler. Good old Stifler. Yes. So we used to go see those. But Tara, she was smoking hot back in the day.
Yeah. So Gammon said Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love it. Earth, Wind, and Fire is my all-time favorite group. I could listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire all day long, every day, and would just be fine. And the other, to show you my different taste in music, the Doobie Brothers, I could listen to their music all day long also and be just fine.
Love it. Love it. I'm starting to get exposed to some of the old school rock that I used to hear like on the oldie stations, driving with your parents or grandparents. But I'm discovering Rush all of a sudden, and I'm really enjoying their music.
I like a lot of different genres in music. I love country music. It's not on my top, but I do enjoy that. I enjoy a lot of. I mean, I love Kool and the Gang, love Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I love smooth jazz, jazz masters, Paul Hardcastle, Dave Koz, Boney James, Huge Groove, Peter White, Kirk Whalum, Tizzy. I can listen to that. I probably listen to that genre of music more than anything else.
It's a good. How could you be in a bad mood after listening to a little bit of jazz? It kind of helps your mind flow, get your thoughts out. What's the best concert that you've been to?
I've been to a lot of concerts in Sacramento. Maybe U2 was amazing, but probably Billy Joel with Elton John. They performed for 3 hours straight without taking a break. So I would probably say when Billy Joel and Elton John came into Arco, I think that's the best concert I've ever been to.
Whew, that was right when I remember that actually when they came to Arco. Wow. 3 hours. That's a long set.
It was great. Whitney Houston was at Arco once too on New Year's Eve one year, and that was spectacular. I mean, that was great. And then I went to see Peabo Bryson and Kenny G were at Arco one year, and that was a phenomenal concert. But if you had to say number one, I'd probably put Billy Joel with Elton John, 3 hours straight.
Incredible. Two legends, one night.
How about you?
Probably Rascal Flatts. It was such a fun show. It was out at the Toyota Amphitheater. The rain was falling because it was in November. We were front row. They did an amazing job. That's when Blake Shelton was actually opening for them. So it was before he was who he is now. Second one is Taryn Wells. He played an intimate setting in Roseville, and we were able to meet him. His music, it's Christian music. Love it. And it kind of crosses over into mainstream as well. So really good artist.
Yeah, somebody said Condog, my Leonard Skinner concert. Yeah, I saw Leonard Skinner back in the 70s. I mean, their last two songs, obviously, just incredible. When they closed their concert with Freebird, and I was just like,
oh, wow. Wowzers. You know what my parents dragged me to? You remember the Cal Expo Amphitheater?
Yes.
Yeah. I think my first concert ever was Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Cyrus at Cal Expo. Can it get more country than that, Napes?
Unbelievable, right? Incredible.
Achy breaky heart.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice to venture off the path sometimes and talk about some other things, but I've seen some good concerts for sure.
Absolutely. You always feel it the next day after a good concert. You can hear it in the ears for sure. Let's bring Corn Dog into the concert and open forum conversation. Good evening, C-Dog. Excuse me, C-Dog here on this show.
What's up, C-Dog?
I don't care. I just love being a dog, not a cat.
Amen.
But I honestly, I loved Smash Mouth live. They came to the Asparagus Festival in Stockton one year. Loved them.
Have not seen them.
Yeah, there was a great show. It was before Steve Harwell started his hardcore drinking phase. So, he was still performing at a good level before he passed away.
Just recently, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that sticks out?
I I think I wrote it in the chat, but if I'm switching bodies with someone, I'm picking Brock Lesnar.
Guy's a beast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm short 5'4", guy. So I'm picking the beast.
Yep.
There you go.
He's a fighter. You'd be the toughest guy on the corner for a day, my friend.
Yeah, Gammon had some good questions today. We were not expecting those.
Yeah, those were some fun ones. I was in the middle of eating, so I was just listening and eating. Having a
Awesome.
good time.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Excellent.
We appreciate it. You enjoy your evening.
All right, you guys too. Have a good night,
Thank
everyone.
you. Take care.
Thank you, Sea-Dog.
So we got the final week, and then the Olympics begin next week, right? Opening ceremonies coming up in a couple of days, right?
Yes, indeed. Friday, I believe, the opening ceremonies. Team USA, Sunday, opening against Serbia. Many eyes will be on that one.
That's going to be a hell of a game. I know
It
they blew them
will.
out last week, but I expect it to be much closer.
Yep. Bogey likely will be playing in that one. He did not play in the exhibition, so that'll make a difference. But you know what Baki says, when there are big games in Serbia, it shuts down there. So you can imagine what that matchup's going to be.
I know Vlade Divac will be at the game in person, he told me.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. You've been to Paris before, yeah?
Yeah, love Paris. But the basketball is not in Paris. It's on the outskirts of Paris. It's not in Paris. From what I believe that's what Vlade told me. I may be mistaken, but he seemed to be telling me that it's not actually in the city confines. But,
it's not uncommon for some Olympics. They go out
most
little
Olympics,
bit.
almost all Olympics are spread out. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how Paris hosts the Olympics. I think it is a fun place, destination place. Never been there, but certainly a beautiful setting. Beautiful country.
Their biggest concern is going to be security. It's a huge, huge, huge target, and there are many borders, and there's been a lot of bad events in Paris over the past few years.
There has,
and I don't want to be like a fear monger here, but I think I think everyone's holding their breath here for the next 17 days.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a real point. It's the world we live in now.
It is the world we live in, and it's a shame that's the world we live in. It's just a shame. It's just, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better.
Yeah, it's been an especially difficult couple weeks here, as you know. It's hard. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what change you make, Grant. You got to start with yourself, and then we work out.
Amen. You hit it right on the head. You've got to start with yourself. You just hit it right on the head. You really can't do anything for anybody else until you do something for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The chat weighing in on their different shows that they've seen. They're loving that you saw Leonard Skinner. There you go. Buckhead. What's Buckhead? Or Buckethead 3 times.
I don't know what Buckethead is. Do you?
I do not know. Dave chiming in. Van Halen. Love it. A little bit of Right Now. Could go for that.
I love Patrick saying that the surfing is 9,000 miles away in Polynesia. So I guess that means the surfers won't be at the opening ceremony. Is that correct?
Yeah, they'll be zooming in, Grant. It's a digital time now.
Oh my gosh! All right, that's good
Patrick.
stuff. Maybe they can, do the California coast and go visit, Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Yeah. I'm thinking that, as long as they can avoid all the great whites out there off the coast of Pacific and do some of the surfing where and surfing's so popular just north of San Francisco, maybe Blazona Development can go out there and build them, some quarters for the week and they can hang out. But Sunrise Landing is awesome. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can check out all of their different models. Remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners. Great location in Calusa. I mean, it's right across from the Calusa Golf and Country Club, and it's got access to I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Just go to CalusaSunrise.com, and you can check everything out yourself. That is CalusaSunrise.com, and hopefully you'll be at Sunrise Landing before you know it. Good. Nice job there, Patrick. And by the way, Patrick, we appreciate you staying up so late in New York to watch the program.
Absolutely. Patrick is the man. He always checks in on the King's Court when he gets off, wraps up the night here. Love it, Patrick.
All right, I'm going to end with this question for you. If you could only go to one concert the rest of your life, which concert are you going to?
Living or dead?
Any of all time.
Of all time, it's got to be Michael Jackson. Has to be Michael Jackson for me, Napes. How about yourself?
The Beatles.
There you go.
Take me back to the Beatles at Shea Stadium back in the late 60s. And I'd either go to that. That would be on the list. And if I had to choose number 2, I'd have to think about that for a minute. But Michael Jackson would be a good one.
Yeah, not another performer like him. His voice was so unique. Just at the total package on stage.
Yeah, that would be pretty amazing, right? I did go to a Rolling Stones concert in Winnipeg. I got a great story for you.
Yeah.
So for 2 years, I did the Canadian Football League on TV when Sacramento had a team for 2 years, and I worked with Jack Youngblood. And I also worked with Greg Coet. Greg was a former starting defensive back for USC, is a sheriff now in Sacramento. Great job. Phenomenal guy. And we landed in Winnipeg. We were playing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers the next night.
Mm-hmm.
So we landed in Winnipeg, never been in Winnipeg before. And we're in the hotel and we find out that the Rolling Stones are playing there that night at the football stadium.
Wow.
Right? Now, getting tickets to the Rolling Stones like the night of the concert is
so
impossible,
hard.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
So Coet goes, "Don't worry, we're going to the concert." He goes, "Follow me." We go out to the stadium. Now, this is back in the 90s, okay? So you have to understand ticket technology is different now than it was then, all right?
Sure.
So they have a warm-up band,
Mm-hmm.
and we're waiting outside the main entrance to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "We're just going to hang out here for a while." We hung out there for like 2 hours. And now all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock at night, all right? The concert was supposed to begin at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I can't remember it, but it's now 10 o'clock at night. The Rolling Stones have now just started playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can hear them from outside the stadium.
Sure.
All of a sudden, a family comes out, an older child, but not like, and a mom and a dad, we can say. And we said, "Excuse me, are you leaving?"
Uh-huh.
"Yes." "Could we please buy your ticket? We'll be more than happy to pay you $20 each." And they said, "Oh, no, you can just have it."
Yeah.
Back then, if you left with your ticket, you could go back into the stadium.
Oh, man. Oh.
We go there and we go, "If you don't mind, why are you leaving?" They go, "Well, because we just had our babysitter call and we have a problem at home." And we're like, "God, we're really sorry."
Oh.
And, and there's seats, if you can believe this. You ready for this?
Yeah.
On the infield of this big 55,000 seat football stadium, on the field, 10 rows from the stage.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Score.
Colette and I saw 80% of the Rolling Stones playlist. 80%. Because by the time we got in there, a
Wow.
few songs were already over. How about that? For no money.
Wow. That is awesome. Those are the stories you can't make up. And he knew.
Nope.
He's like, "We're just gonna stay here. Just wait. It'll happen. It's coming." Sure
How
enough,
about that?
somebody leaves. Wow. And you basically heard the whole set. You just didn't see this whole set.
It was phenomenal.
So cool.
That
How
was
was
back-
the call? How was
Huh?
the call the next day? Calling the game. Was your voice a little shot?
No, it was fine. It was good. My voice, I very rarely ever lost my voice. I got very lucky with that. But yeah, it was, and TV's pretty easy to call football, much different than radio. Calling football on television is very easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, I
it's just
know. I have no idea.
well, it's not a lot of talking really.
It's not, you get more time in between. Yeah,
Right.
I gotcha.
So it's very easy to suit if you have a throat issue or whatever, it's very easy to maintain that during a football game, or I should say easier. So it's never a problem.
Very cool. You and I may have been on some of the same flights to Canada. From time to time, I would travel.
That's right. I forgot about your dad, the
on
pilot.
the team
Yeah.
plane. Yes.
Well,
to some
the
of the
great-
CFL games.
The great late Fred Anderson was the owner and treated me so well.
Great guy.
And we used to go to, as you well know, I used to love the Canadian Football League. I had the best time going to all the Canadian cities: Vancouver, Ottawa, Edmonton, Winnipeg,
Edmonton.
Regina, Saskatchewan, Hamilton. I mean, all of the Canadian cities that I would have never gone. I'm never going to go to Regina, Saskatchewan.
Sure.
Right? It was phenomenal. Like, I'm not going to go to Winnipeg, Manitoba. Phenomenal. Calgary, phenomenal city. Right? Phenomenal.
No doubt.
Probably one of my favorite cities to go visit in Canada was Ottawa. God, what a beautiful city. Beautiful.
I had no idea Edmonton at the time had the biggest mall in the world. So the day before the game, we're looking at this mall and our eyes are just, our heads are blown, but amazing city. Cold, but amazing city as well. I know you.
Yeah, and they had a big, the Edmonton Eskimos, they were a big time football team up there.
Yep, they had the Packers colors and the EE.
Yep, they sold out every game.
Yep, and Sacramento really rallied behind the Gold Miners too. And then the Surge, they won the championship in 1992 before the Gold Miners came along.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave Archer was the quarterback then.
Dave Archer was definitely a quarterback on the Gold Miners. I'm not sure if he was on the Surge. I think so. Troy Mills, running back as well.
I'm sorry. I meant the Gold Miners. Did I say not the Surge, the Gold Miners?
Yeah, Dave Archer is definitely the quarterback of the Gold Miners. And then he went on to get a little bit of run in Philadelphia.
The NFL with the Atlanta Falcons. He's now the radio analyst on the Falcons network.
Oh, is he? Excellent. Okay. Very
great guy. Love Dave Archer.
Good. He was my favorite football player growing up. Number 18. Cool.
Great guy. All right. Tomorrow, you've got a 2:00 show.
Yes, indeed. Midweek show. Bring it as you always do. We'll have a lot of fun.
And if you're available, I'm available tomorrow at 8:00 for our open forum Wednesday.
You know it. Let's do it. Hit us with some questions. We'll talk whatever you want within reason. Good job tonight, Gammon.
Yeah, excellent job. And enjoy the rest of your evening or day, wherever you may be watching. We appreciate your support. Please subscribe.